Your hourly rate and how much you charge solely depends on the value you bring to your client. And by value, I don't mean just the quality of your Solidworks. That is only one aspect of it. In this video, I'm going to talk about 3 aspects that if you increase, you can ask for more money, you can charge more per hour and justify it. And I'm going to give you a shortcut through an example project. So by the end of watching this video, you can immediately increase your hourly rate in a confident manner and justify why you are charging more than your competition. Let's go. How do you charge more? Obviously, expert people charge more for their time and beginners tend to charge less per hour. And that's fair. But why is that? The reason is, if I've been working with Solidworks for 15 years and you have only started working with Solidworks for the past 5 years, does this mean I get to charge my client more than you do? An average person might say, yes, because I have more experience. But what does my client care how many years of experience I have? The answer is, I could argue that through 15 years of experience, I have learned a few things or two that you haven't that allows me to deliver a better quality in a shorter amount of time. So if my client pays me $300 an hour and it only takes me 1 hour, it's a much better investment for him than paying you $50 an hour and it would take you 10 hours. The hourly rate is solely depends on the value you bring to your client. And by value, I don't mean just the quality of your model in SolidWorks. That is only one element of the value. If you could pick only 3 out of those so many options, it would be 1, the quality of your work in SolidWorks that depends on your modeling skills. Secondly, it would be the manufacturability of your components before you start on a job. You need to know what your client is going to do with that model. Are they going to show it in a presentation, 2D or CNC manufactured or 3D printed or what? And based on their manufacturing plan, design your model. This is how you detect a true noob from an expert when you go to freelancers, especially online. A beginner always starts with, what's your budget? Don't do that. That's a red flag. Do not start with a budget question. You don't even know if you can or want to take on this project. So the question of the money should come at the end. A true expert always asks as many right questions as possible right off the bat before they even give you the quote. And third would be the fitting and tolerancing. If you can work with GD&T that guarantees 100% fit of your component, that's ideal, because you don't want to deliver components that look good but they don't fit together. Most of the times the clients come to you and what they want is a complex assembly made from many different single components. If your components after manufacturing don't fit together, what good is that? Even if you charge me $1 an hour, that would be $1 an hour that I have wasted on you. You don't want to do that. I would rather go pay someone $100 an hour but get something in return that I can work with. These are the 3 most important ones that I have picked. My plan is to give you a solution so by the end of this video you have a shortcut in a smart way, not cut from the quality or con people, but take true shortcuts that actually add value to you and to your client. And you could ask for more money reasonably, legally, in a smart way. The way I'm going to do that and teach you how to do this is through an example project which we are going to do together now. What is this project? Every project starts with a problem, and my problem is my dog, which is 3 years old, very furry. Every time I wash him or take him to the park, he gets wet, and every time he shakes himself, he makes everyone and everything around it wet, especially in the bathroom. And I have to end up drawing the walls and the mirror and everything. So I thought, okay, what if I create kind of a scaffold to put in on top of my bathtub that can hold him tight, even like a crane, pull him up so I can wash him without any problems, right? Let's just say I'm your client. I come to you, say, hey, I want a structure that can hold my dog, can be installed in the bathroom, it should be portable, build me something. And I'm going to actually have it manufactured. So the parts should fit together. It should be payable because I'm going to pay someone to build this for me. Here it is. How much do you charge per hour? I found a way, and I'm going to show you what this smart way is. It's a website that I have found. It was amazing. That's why I decided to create this video. And in the process of that, I decided to call them as well, ask them if they would sponsor this video, and they said yes. The website is called Misumi, and it's a great tool to save yourself time. The time that you value, the time that you are charging your clients for. So they are the true sponsor of this video. Who are they and what they do, how the website works, I will tell you in a minute. Let's just not get ahead of ourselves. ourselves. Let's go to SolidWorks. Let me show you what I want to create. Then we go to this website. Then we order the parts, assemble this crane for the dog, and then we'll see how it works. Let's do it. If you look at my monitor, this is the scaffold that I designed. I decided to go for aluminum extrusions because it reduces my manufacturing costs when I go for off-the-shelf products. If I want all and every single component in my model to be customized and machined, I'm gonna have to calculate it with more price. So it's cheaper to go for the batch produced components, aluminum profiles being one of them, okay? So the structure is made of aluminum profiles in different sizes, and at each corner we have 3 corner connectors to hold these scaffolds together. There are 2 extensions which you can see here and here. These 2 components, I've only designed them to increase the length of the bottom just in case if I need it, because if the whole thing was bigger, it would have not fit through the bathroom door. So I made it shorter, narrower, so it can go into the bathroom, accommodated some extension. Over here, you see this black box with this red component on the top. By the way, everything that is red is being manufactured, purchased by me. These are customized components. Everything else is off the shelf and standard component, okay? So far, me being the modeler have made something that I know can be purchased somewhere from some store. I did not come up with some cross section and tell my client, okay, go manufacture this, go extrude this profile, and hopefully it will do the job. I have reduced his cost by going for standard components. Just put that as one point on the side. This black box over here is the gearbox, which is, I've modeled it myself. Roughly the dimensions are right. It's a worm gearbox. The red component on the top is going to be a fan, an industrial grade to dry my dog. If it's too loud, then I might not use it, but I have accommodated that into my design. This gearbox has a pulley on the side, which you can see here. A cable is going to roll around this pulley as it turns, and the other side of the cable is connected to this loop at the end, which is connected to this orange component, as you see here. And this orange component, the hook, the aluminum profiles, the corners, these rods to hold the van, and these wheels to move along these aluminum profiles. The gearbox, everything that connects it to the profile, everything is downloaded from the website Misumi, which I told you are the sponsor of this video, and I will show you how. I did not model a single thing except for the red components. In this way, I have secured a couple of things. First, I know for a fact that these components fit together, so I don't have to take care of tolerancing and whether or not they're gonna fit together. That's guaranteed, okay? Secondly, I did not model any of these components. These are all downloaded. First of all, knowing what to design. Secondly, actually sitting down and design it takes time. I did not do that. Instead, I spent like 1/10 of that time to find the item that I want in the size that I want, and I pressed download. That's that. So the quality of my work at SolidWorks and tolerancing and fitting, these 2 are already taken care of. The third components that we talked about is the manufacturability, and these components are already manufactured off the shelf, living in some storage somewhere. So all these 3 elements are already taken care of, and I have done it in a much shorter time. If my job was to only model this, all I have to do is to give the item number of these components and the website to my client and tell him, hey, go purchase these components, and boom, they're gonna fit. It works. I've made the mechanism for you. But since I'm the client myself, I'm gonna go and actually place the order, so you see the whole process, because it comes with an extension for SolidWorks, and when I click OK, it actually sends the order to Misumi, and you get your components delivered and you pay for it. It seems to me it's a smart way. I did all those things in a much shorter time, so I can add the value of the time I have saved, plus the guarantee of fit, plus the guarantee of the component existing into my hourly rate. The website looks like this. When you go in, you need to sign up and create an account. It is free, no need to pay anything. Just needs your name, email, and some information, maybe address, I don't remember, and it comes in different languages. What I have found is that most things a mechanical engineer, biomedical engineer like me needs can be found under products, automation, components. Like, you have so many more. Just read the categories. I'm not going to read it for you, but if you go to automation components, most things can be found here. For example, if I go to pipe, tube, hoses, and fittings and go down here, I will see steel pipes, which I have already used. Or if I go to framing, I find aluminum extrusion and brackets. You click there. Let's just download one aluminum extrusion for the sake of the example, and then I'll show you. There are different sizes which you can filter on the left, the size, the form. I'm not an expert on aluminum profiles, but I'm sure a lot of you are, and these terminologies make sense to you in a different way than it makes sense to me. So some components are more suitable for some people and some skill sets, right? Let's just say we want this. I don't know what that is. Let's just say we want this. And on the top right corner, we see CAD download. When I click on that, it says you have not defined your component to be specific enough. So there is no CAD for it. First, go ahead and be more specific of which component you would like. Then we will give you the CAD file. Okay, let's just add some filter to it. I don't know. Let's just go for this, and is it not ready? No, not specific enough. 3D. Oh, the length. Okay, so let's just go with 1000. Now, I get the option, so I will find Solidworks first. Then we're gonna go pick Solidworks 2006 and above, native, and then it generates the CAD file for me. It's ready. Let's just open it. Looks like a zip file. Let's just bring it to the screen, click on it, and then boom. This is the aluminum profile. How much time did it take me to find this? I mean, if I actually wanted to look for something specific, all I had to do was to spend about 10 minutes. And that 10 minutes, you're going to have to spend anyway when you're going to create or model this from scratch yourself. You need to drawing of the cross section. This way, the 10 minutes you spend for the drawing, you just look for the final component and you download it, and voila, you have it in SolidWorks. Every single component you see here is downloaded by me, and all I did was to assemble them together. As easy as that. Now, you are going to love this part because Misumi has an extension that you can add to your SolidWorks, and it opens like a window with the directory of all the components they have. You could search for anything you want, drag and drop it into your SolidWorks, either part or assembly, and then customize it. And then once you're done, it creates a bill of material for you. And all you have to do from there is just place the order or just check the price or whatever you want to do with it. It does everything automatically. And this is the extension for SolidWorks 2022, which was released a couple of days ago. For example, I have this component built here with Misumi parts. This is the extension for Misumi. Search for aluminum extrusions, cross section, size, click on import. Successful. Black anodized surface finish, stationary, I don't know what that is, and length 4 meters. Apply to CAD model, and the length should adjust. Now it's adjusted, and I could just save the part with the number, as you can see here, or I could just go to the price delivery tab and read the values here. This component is 3848, quantity 1, add to cart, confirm cart. You could do everything here. This is amazing. This makes your job much easier. So instead of, I'm sorry. I take this back. It's not instead of. You still have to improve your skill. You still have to learn how to work with tolerances, because that's the value you eventually need. But this is kind of like a joker card in your pocket, you know? Makes your job much faster, buys you time to be ahead of your competition. You use that time to charge more, and you work on your other skills. As I promised, by the end of this video, I gave you a way to just take a shortcut and go faster. And this is the shortcut, okay? Now, all I have to do is to order these components that I have used from Misumi to build this frame, and get the components, go assemble it together, and go wash my... Yeah, the components are here. Let's just go open them, assemble the frame, and then I'm gonna go wash my dog.
Forget tomorrow, man, I'm here today. Won't settle for good, man, I'm shooting for great. And remember my name when I'm in the grave. Yeah, all in, not pretending. Hall of Fame in with the veterans. I ain't playing weak, no, I'm playing for keeps. Can't stop me, I'm a legend. I run with the crew that's making the move. Get out of the way, we coming through. We got this, never stopping, and we won't lose. No, we can't lose. Yeah!
So this is the gearbox. As you can see, the white parts are 3D printed by me, and I bought the cables. They're connected into the pulleys, and this is this eye bolt that connects into the profile. And this is the orange component in SolidWorks, as you can see. A worm gearbox is very strong, 1:65 ratio, but if you want to rotate it with hand, you're gonna have to do it a lot of times. So I have a better idea. Look at this. This is going to be the engine, and this is going to be the gearbox, and the cable is going to connect to the frame. Let me show you. It's going to sit here. I'm going to use two of these. One goes here, one from the other side. Then I have 3D printed this component because it was a miscalculation and I did not find shorter bolts. This is just to keep the distance right. It comes on the top and gets screwed down into these bolts. Now let's test this. Good. Now the cable is here, you see it. I'm gonna hang Goldie down to this cable, and when this cable comes up, it comes up. And the good thing is, when I put the frame on the bathtub is already concave, so it adds to the height of this. That's why I'm sure it's gonna be staying mid-air. Now the other components that come here with the wheels and the pipe, I haven't put here. The fan is there, but let's see. The mission was a success. I cleaned Goldie, nowhere is wet, and it worked. At this point, I want to show you how you can benefit from Misumi in a way you did not think possible. Regardless if you are working or you are a student, each of these groups can benefit individually from Misumi. Let me tell you why. Let's start with the students because the second part takes longer. If you are a student and you are given a project to create and come up with a cost estimation, the manufacturing cost for your model, you cannot find a better place than Misumi. Why? Because every component that you find, download, and use in your project come with the accurate price. So every single unit that you download has a price. And by the end of your project, after you have assembled all the components, you have an accurate cost estimation down to the cent. And you can use that as a frame of reference to build upon. So that alone is a bonus for you on top of the components that you can actually download and save time. That's for the students. For those who are actually working either for yourself or for a company, the cost estimation is a golden thing. Again, it's not limited to students. Also, you don't have to sit down and model every standard components. You could actually put your focus and spotlight on creating those customized components that you need for your project. You don't waste your time on modeling standard components anymore. You just go here, download it, you know the price, and then you put your time that now you have more of because you have saved a lot of it on the customized components that cannot be found off the shelf. You design those and you're good, and you just assemble it, you know the cost, and through the extension that I showed you, click order, and then you send your order to Misumi, you get your quote, and the rest is history. I cannot recommend this enough, and I love it. I'm not gonna sit down and model another standard component again. If you're starting on SolidWorks and if you need practice, sure, go ahead, model any standard components because it's necessary for you to build up your skills. But after a while where you have learned how to deal with those things, then you don't need to repeat that. Work smarter, save time, save money, and charge more. Speaking of SolidWorks beginners, if you are a beginner and you do want to work on any components, standard or customized, and you need help, you should go in the description below this video and click on the first link that takes you to my webinar. It's a webinar where I have listed 10 most common mistakes that you make, which is wasting your time when you model with SolidWorks. Go learn why you are using those bad habits, learn the solutions to them once and for all. It's a 45 minutes time investment for saving a lot of money in your modeling. So I just gave you 2 solutions to save time. One would be through Misumi and the other one would be through my free webinar. Both of them free. Good. I hope I was able to deliver some value to you through this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please go ahead and do so. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. I tend to answer all the comments I get as much as I can, at least once or twice a week. The link to Misumi as well as the link to my webinar, both are in the comment section, in the description below this video. Work smart, charge more, and I hope I can be of more help in this journey that you're going through. See you soon.